And we're live. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to A Certain Point of View here on a Sunday evening. Hope everyone is doing great out there. As you can see, we are one short today. She's getting her party on in Scottsdale, Arizona.
She's sitting in the airport.
Well, okay, she's in Scottsdale at the airport. She's been getting her party on. Excuse me.
You can drink in airports.
Yeah, she's getting her party on. I'm sure they're doing one last hoorah. So Jill will not be with us tonight unless she joins us somehow at some point, which I doubt will very happen. But we got Molly, we got Brian, we got Schmoedown. We're very excited. A lot of interesting things to talk about tonight. And for those of you who may not follow us on Twitter or anything, we're actually starting to show off with a reaction, which we'll be getting to in here in just a second. But Molly, Brian, how you guys doing? Everyone's weekend going well?
The weather was fantastic here this weekend. It was like sunny, mid-60s. We went to a German festival yesterday. Well, we were going to go to just one of the breweries that we always go to, but there just happened to be a German festival down there. So we were like, oh, more beer and pretzels. Great. Yay.
That sounds like a perfect Saturday.
That sounds so good.
It was delicious. And then we took Kilo on a super long walk today on a trail and got all my steps in. Now it's just me and you guys and the wine. That's the rest of my night. I'm ready.
Using those Apple Watches.
Mm-hmm. They're so fun.
They are.
Fitbit Life?
No.
Brian, what about you, man? How's your weekend?
My week. Spring break is over for me. It's been one long weekend, essentially. Doing okay. I'm starving because I'm on a diet as I make this brighter. So yeah, that sucks. Although I've already lost 5 pounds, so I'm chilling. But yeah, working out and all that stuff is not fun.
Yeah,
it's not fun. Like,
but endorphins.
Yeah, I'm like endorphins. I'm hungry. Like, that's how my thing goes. I've never realized, although I will say this, you don't realize how much you're not actually hungry and your brain is just saying you're hungry until you actually start like doing it. Because I've been like sitting here like all day, I'll be like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, my stomach's not hungry. So yeah, it's tricky.
Most of the time you're just thirsty and probably just need water.
Yeah.
When you think you
I told them earlier, if you are trying to diet and Mio, that stuff you squirt in your, well, you have to make sure they're not the high sodium ones, but there's nothing in them. You just squirt them into your water, chug it, and I'm full for like an hour. If you chug, like, this is what I'd chug for like an hour. Good. So.
I just like the taste of regular water. Is that weird?
No, there's sometimes that I don't want it.
I do too.
Yeah. No.
I drink 3 of these a day.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 40. So I drink 120 ounces of water a day, essentially. Like,
yeah,
I love water.
I use it more for like if I'm craving or having like a sweet tooth type thing. And that's perfect. Like there's a strawberry watermelon one. It tastes like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. Chug it. Mm-hmm.
Are you supposed to chug that though?
It's just chugging water.
Chug.
I don't think you're supposed to like chug water, but never mind.
Get a beer bong, but just do it with water.
I have one.
Okay, so look, we obviously have Friday Night Titans to talk about. We have 2 great matches. A new teams match with a team that has reunited, and then a brand new team that was set up last week on the episode 2 of Friday Night Titans. And then we have the inevitable return of one Samm Levine. He has made his official return to the Schmoedown, and we're going to be talking about his first official match, as well as the Barbarian, obviously his opponent in that match. But first, we know that at this point, cutscenes are going to be extremely important to this season in the Schmoedown, and this might become a much more regular thing on the show. We have not seen the final scene of the show. We have not watched it. We heard about it via Twitter and obviously from some people who had maybe seen it beforehand. So we decided to cut watching before this scene aired, and we're going to do a live reaction right now. So we know who's involved. We don't know what is happening in this said scene. So if you two are ready, I think we should just get to this bad boy because I imagine the conversation is probably going to be pretty heavy.
Let's do it.
Good?
Jill's going
All
to
right.
react in the chat.
I'm like low-key nervous because we haven't reacted to anything since last year.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Easy.
But like I said, this might become much more of a regular thing because Friday's Titans and then Sunday's show, you might see a lot of this. But let's get to it. The final scene from episode 3 of Friday Night Titans. Here we go.
Jesus, Mike.
God, Marisol, I have the best plan. I have been working so hard, and I know we've been doing so much, but I just kind of wanted to sit you down and let you know what was going on, keep you in the loop about everything.
Okay,
and
that's great. But before we talk about anything else, Shannon, we need to talk about Adam.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to him. There's the whole thing with Adam. I'm just kind of, I got to keep him on his toes. You know what I mean?
No,
I wanna-
it can't wait. No, we need to talk about Adam first.
What, are you worried about, like, the Ethan thing? It's nothing. Like, Ethan's not going to come to Korruption. It's always been Adam Collins. You know that.
No, look, Shannon, you're not getting it. We need to talk about Adam first.
Okay, well, what? What is it?
Oh,
Oh,
He has such perfect
hey,
hair.
speaking of the coyote himself. Look, actually, we were just talking. And, okay, you look a little nervous. Relax, it's okay. I just wanted to let you know that, yes, I've been keeping you on your toes, and I'm sorry if that made you a little nervous about where you were going, but you guys
Jill
have to
said,
know
"My baby."
It was always you. It was all of this was a charade. You're coming home to Korruption, and we can't wait to have you back.
Oh, no.
Wow,
Oh, no.
I did not see that coming.
I know, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that. Shannon, the answer is no.
He's telling her no?
What?
I hate to tell you, but I had to look out for myself. I signed with somebody else.
Okay, well, who? Did you know about this?
That's what I was trying to tell you, Shannon.
She knew too? Shannon's the last to know?
oh,
crap.
she gonna be pissed. Jill said, "I'm sorry, what?"
You're gonna take Adam Collins from me?
Shannon.
Winston, you're gonna take Adam Collins away from me?
Shannon.
Oh,
It's
nobody
Adam
makes
Collins.
Shannon cry her own tears.
All right, you know what?
Oh.
Oh, what the hell? Sorry.
Winston, I mean it. Take care of my boy.
Oh,
I will.
smack him.
Take your time.
Oh. Wow. That's a turn of events.
I know.
I guess this is goodbye.
What the hell?
Hey, Adam,
Oh, my heart.
come here.
Oh.
Come here.
Again, he has perfect hair.
Dude, I got the chills right now.
Thank you.
She's laying it on pretty thick.
I mean, she did take him from nothing to something.
Hey, champ.
Don't forget me, Coyote.
Never win justice.
Aw.
No more deception.
Well, Jill's gone. Good thing she's not here.
Jill says, "Thanks, I hate it."
See you out there.
In what world was Shannon the last to know? What multiverse are we in?
Oh, there's Shannon's lipstick.
Oh.
Dang.
What is going on?
Okay. Well, we have something to discuss here.
All right. Well, the show just went from normal to chaos.
Wah, wah.
Well, Adam Collins is no longer part of Korruption on his decision. I will say his hand may have been forced because Shannon was kind of. We saw the scene where Shannon announced her team and she said, "Oh yeah, Adam right now doesn't deserve the spot." And as you do, you'd go look for somewhere else, and in comes Winston Marshall, and it looks like Paul Oyama may have a brand new teammate.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Ooh, what's their team name, you think?
I'm
not
like,
good on the spot.
I'm just thinking of like, there's so many things that happen in the scene. Obviously, Shannon's emotion is probably the biggest thing that we can talk about. It seems like her decision to kind of like almost out him obviously has backfired. And the emotion kind of just like, I've never seen Shannon shake someone's hand before. Like, please just take care of him. Like, when have we ever heard Shannon say that? Or when would we think Shannon would ever say that?
Yeah, I was expecting her to go in for the handshake and then, you know,
Punch to the gut.
slick her hair back and be like, ooh, just kidding.
Interesting. So wait, does that make Swag the first like full team?
Yes, I believe. No, Corky Mercs.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay.
Liz was their final.
That's right.
I would love to have been a fly on the wall to see like what Winston was offering Adam, or if Adam just wanted to go to Swag. To change it up.
Paul is a pretty sweet offer.
I'm sure.
Not to say much.
I'm sure leaving Marisol is probably the hardest thing he had to do. But like, if you're being outed by your manager in the public eye, like he was by Shannon, you're gonna go look for someone who wants you. And Winston probably just slithered his way and said, "Hey, bro, like, hey, if you need me, I got you." Hey, I got you.
He wouldn't have had to have gone far to find a manager who wanted Adam Collins on his.
Harrison has a great name for them. Coyote Time.
Coyote Time.
Coyote Time.
I like Hawaii Coyote because it sounds kind of like Wile E. Coyote. Hawaii Coyote.
Prime Coyote.
I was going to say Coyote Prime because it sounds like something from Transformers.
Corporation. But I mean, look, this is obviously big because no matter how rough of a year Adam had last year, he's still a top contender in both singles and teams. And now Winston has a 2A player on top of Paul, but he also has now an absolute A++ team in Paul and Adam. And after his rough year last year, he's clearly turned this around and gotten a number of players who are really going to make some damage this year. Like, really going to make some damage this year.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't remember where Swag finished, like in the rankings at the end of last season, but
I think they were dead last.
They were pretty low. I'm
pretty sure they were dead last.
I bet Winston is like, you know what? Not again.
Jill says, "Not me crying in the terminal."
Don't cry in the club. There's no crying in the club.
Yeah, and look, a big thing too, a couple people mentioned in the chat, Paul does have that free-for-all title challenge. He can use it anytime up until free-for-all, which is at the end of next month.
Interesting.
And I believe someone said it in the chat. I want to bring it back up. Let's see. Christopher Stikelether. With Roxy and Kate being heel female managers, I could see Shannon turning face and Korruption being kind of a face faction. I would say maybe tweeners.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean,
I could see tweeners. There's no way that you can take Texas out of the girl, but Shannon ain't gonna just, hey everybody, like, no, that's not insane.
I mean, he's got a point. Roxy and Kate are going full heel, like full heel. So it would make Shannon look a lot more face than normal. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
If she's not screaming at people, then yeah, that if you want to consider that face. There's just something about me, just like, you're gonna have Chance. Chance is a quick mouth. Mike, the quickest of all mouths. Shannon, and this punch you in the jaw.
I almost feel like this is kind of a thing as well. And Jeremy brings it up. Shannon the crown, I think, is a sign of a face turn.
Oh yeah.
Like maybe that's actually that actually has a little bit more meaning than what we think. And Jill says it, which is a perfect comparison. Shannon will be like Kaiser, sassy, and will dish it back if she needs to. So it's almost like a tweener, but it's like a 60-40 face. Maybe 75-25.
Honestly, I'm warming up to the idea of Shannon being a face because I don't think it's a good look for all the female managers to be heels.
Lethal.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm interested. I'd be interested to hear what is going through Shannon's head at this point.
Agreed. Agreed. That is, I mean, that's big. So they have a spot to fill. They currently have a spot to fill. They got turned down by the former champion, which is crazy to think about.
Either she has a face turn or she goes just ultimate evil and wants to rip everyone's heads off.
I think I mean, this is me, but I almost feel like there's kind of like an interpretation. I grew up a long time ago watching wrestling, so like all the terms and stuff, that's not with me anymore. But like when I think face, I think of like
Coy,
like
Baby,
like that type of stuff. Tweeners to me is just like Kaiser Dungeon, like that. And then when I think heel, I think like you're an a-hole, like type thing. So that's just my thing. So like I could see them landing in the middle.
They're not going to be the Mercs. They're not going to be
Mike. Isn't going to be like, "Hey, Chundru, how are you? I hope you're having a great day." Like that's never ever going to happen.
Well, Gordon says it right here. I've been waiting for a time that I could root for Kalinowski and not feel guilty.
Yeah.
I see him as kind of like a kill him with kindness kind of face.
Like the snarky remarks.
Yeah.
Look, there's a lot of people in the chat trying to name people who could fill that spot. There's too many players to think of.
It's Chundru's birthday.
Happy
birthday, Chundru.
Oh, is it? Well, happy birthday, Chundru.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, make sure you guys go blow up Chundru on Twitter and everything. Happy birthday, Chundru. A lot of people mentioning Paige because Paige still is available. We don't know what's happening with her. She could be an interesting fit for Korruption. But I did want to bring up what Swag's team now officially looks like. We have Paul Yama, Adam Collins, Amaru Moses, Ace Cabrera, and Clee Wiggins.
Wow.
Have fun with that.
I can't wait for Ace to come back and I want to see him do some more Star Wars. Like,
and you say that, and guess who your first opponent's gonna be?
It's been too long.
That is an absolute stacked team. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next coming weeks for Korruption. Swag is officially set for the time being, and Winston has his rebooted squad, only bringing one person back from last year's team and getting 4 absolute haymakers to replace a couple of people from last season. So great cutscene. And I'll just say this too. That's one of the best cutscenes as far as like filmed and acted I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah. Shannon legit looked upset.
Yeah, it was great.
I feel like though the three of them, Shannon, Marisol, and Adam, they're already pretty close. So them doing a scene together is not hard at all.
She literally brought them from obscurity into this. And they were both champions through her.
Yeah.
So
Jill says, I feel personally attacked by this storyline.
Sorry, Jill. Sorry, Jill.
They look for if we like them, and then they rip our hearts out.
Yeah, we're going to be mourning the loss of Deception for a while.
It's a big loss. That is
good thing we already had them on Happy Hour.
I know. We can go back and watch last March's Happy Hour.
God.
To just feel better.
I don't know if we'll ever break that record. Goodness. Jill, a way that you can bring Deception back is bringing them back onto Happy Hour. There you go. Have an episode.
Let's go 5 more hours with them.
Reunite them. And yes, to Brian and Chris in the chat, you did correct me. Ace was brought back to Swag as well. So he kept 2 and he replaced 3. So thank you for that.
I also feel like with this, and you can say yes or no, Shannon doesn't necessarily need to fill that spot immediately. Are we getting rid of the Mike and Chance team? Because, I mean, so it's not like I need to fill that spot now. So, I don't know. That's just me.
No, I agree. And we've heard it from Christian plenty of times this season. Managers don't have to fill it right away. They can wait all year.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an audition that comes in from a rookie that's like, oh, God, like I want that person. And they go for that person.
I mean, she has the singles belt right now. She can literally focus on the coming match.
Singles and IG belt.
Is
Her?
Laura back on Korruption?
Well, Mike, excuse me. Mike has it. Yeah,
Oh.
Laura's back on Korruption.
Okay, I was like, wait, does she have a Star Wars player? She
Yeah.
certainly does.
Yeah, so she has Mike as IG, she has Laura as Star Wars, and then Marisol and Chance as singles. Like, the team is still stacked.
Oh,
The team is
yeah.
still stacked. All right, let's get to it though. Let's get into this this Friday Night Titans. We have a couple matches to talk about here. We have a teams match, and then we have the Samm Levine Barbarian match. I just want to say up top, I don't know how you guys have been feeling, but now that the show is officially like three, okay, perfect timing. Hello, Amaru. Hello,
That's
sir.
funny.
I would just like to say, drip, drip, you sons of snitches. Thank you for stopping by, man. Yeah, we just watched the cutscene. Congratulations, you now have a coyote in swag. That's big time for you guys. That's big time. But look, I just wanted to say up top that now that Friday Night Titans is 3 shows in, I think that the show has really kind of been finding itself. It obviously was a very weird adjustment because Schmoedown living on one night is something that's totally brand new. Everything in just one day in the week. And even though like we were kind of contemplating like if we would have liked it or not, now that we have a couple weeks and like experiencing it and seeing what they're really going for, it does feel like this is like what the show should be. It's not super overbearing. We don't have to worry about 3, 4, 5 different videos a week where we're watching like promos or a match or a cutscene here or whatever it may be. Everything is in one consolidated stream. And this was obviously the best of them all, scenes, matches, etc. But I feel like the show is finally just kind of coming together, and a lot more people are now jumping on board that they have much more of experience with it.
Yeah, the ability for them to film a lot of this stuff in studio, having people there to probably, you know, film however many matches in one day, it's making the storyline stuff go a lot smoother.
Yeah.
Because like before with all the digital matches, they just had to kind of stitch them together and try to add story on top of it after the fact. But this just feels better that it's happening before, during, and after the matches while they're being filmed. That's nice.
I like if I can't watch it Friday, it's literally first thing I can do in the morning. I can just turn it on, still be in bed and watch the whole entire thing. And
Yeah, you don't have to
that's
worry
awesome.
about 3 or 4 different videos. It's just
Yeah.
boom, one thing.
It's
And
like
so-
watching a movie. Yeah.
And it's usually like an hour and a half ish. So
Yeah, it's been working out. And with cutscenes and matches being an hour and a half, that's incredible. Because you're essentially getting 3 cutscenes and 2 matches. Like, that's such good timing for all of that. So it all just fits. But look, as far as cutscenes for this week, before we got to the Big Bang one that we just reacted to, the 2 cutscenes that we got for this week were Frank trying to interview everybody. And the first one was him trying to interview Gucci and Barbarian up top, running across the street. Gucci was for some reason trying to sell $3,000 socks or $300 socks, something. I don't know what he's doing. But I mean, I will say this, and this is weird to say, but they're a little rude to Frank. Little rude. Barbarian's he stepped his game up as a heel so far this year, especially inside that match that we saw a little bit later. But I think incorporating Frank into stuff like this is actually a little fun because he is a part of the crew, and we don't get to see him very much outside of Rundown. And he is doing interviews, and to do something like this where he's running across the street or
make him run.
Catching people inside the door like he did to Samm, it's a pretty useful thing for him to do. It's pretty funny.
I don't like people being rude to Frank because we're the only people that are allowed to
Yeah.
be rude to Frank.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's
Facts.
very true.
Facts.
Mhm. No one's allowed to compliment him. No one's allowed to be mean to him. Only us. That's it.
Okay, real quick, I gotta bring this comment up. This is from Jane here. I think it's super funny having 3 people on camera and 1 just in the chat. I'm sure Jill's not finding it funny, but I am.
Yeah.
Especially because Jill's probably the one that would freak out the most about what we just watched.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%. It's where it works out perfect that she's the one in the chat today. All right, so let's get to this match. So we have JTE and we have THE Paul Preston. The movement, as they are called, managed by one Adam Witt, and then the return of the Harris brothers, Lon and Jonathan Harris, have reunited. They don't have a manager; they're just playing on their own. It looks like Lon is going through a little bit of an identity crisis. I don't know what's happening with him. But I don't know about you guys, but I had a blast watching this match. I thought
This was a good match.
I thought the match was, not only great, but just a lot of fun. And it's the first time that I've noticed it while watching Titans. But I love the fact that you can hear the players talking in between questions because the mics. I don't know if that's on purpose.
I don't think it's on purpose, but I agree with you.
I don't think it's on purpose, but I love that you can hear them contemplating. Like there was one time when JT and Paul were debating a question, and I think Paul goes, "I have no effing clue," and I was like, "I love it." I love it. That's perfect. I think we should be allowed to hear that. But as far as the match goes, I thought it was a great match. I thought everyone had great chemistry. JT and Paul looked great. Obviously, the Harris brothers. And then the Peacemaker dance at the end once JTE and THE won.
So good. Yeah, the movement, they're super entertaining. And yeah, I'm so excited to see with what direction Adam takes like this team and the rest of his faction going forward, because you can't go wrong with Adam. So
agreed.
Oh my God, Jeremy, that's right. That is the first time he's ever won a teams match, huh?
Yeah, him and Adam were 0 for their entire time together.
Paul,
yeah,
poor THE.
Yeah, and then Paul and Ben as well. They lost each of their matches as well. That's
Jeez. Right. Oh wait. Oh, I didn't know that James Gunn replied to Harloff on Twitter. Wow.
Yeah, he did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
About what?
He shared the Peacemaker dance on Twitter. Paul's Peacemaker dance, and then James Gunn replied to him, which is pretty fun.
That's funny. Yeah, they were super entertaining. This is super. You have Lon, the Harris brothers just kind of just, yeah, we're here, we're having fun. And then you have the other ones that are like took 2 shots of pre-workout before they came out here and just running around like chickens with their heads cut off. But like match-wise, it was really good. I want to say the Harris brothers were up first round.
Yes.
Then it switched.
Yes.
And then they squeaked it out at the end. The movement squeaked it out at the end. Like it was a very, I think I want to say like 1 point each round, and it was just going back and forth and back. So those are my favorite types of matches, is when you're like, you have no idea who's going to win it because they're just they seemed evenly matched. Like up until that last question, I mean, I had no idea who was going to win that match.
I agree. And I think Lon was about to go perfect, but he missed the final question of round 1.
He missed the bonus.
I thought. No, he missed the final question. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He missed the perfect round by the one question. And he looks great. I mean, we've talked about Lon Harris enough on this show, in the space in general, about how he's one of the best players to not have a belt. He just always seems to kind of hit, a bump in the road once he kind of gets up there. But I do think that on the flip side for the movement, JT, he talked about it last week in that cutscene. He's one of the most winningest teams player in the history of the Schmoedown. He and Jeff Snyder obviously held the belts for a very long time as the Patriots. And no matter what we think of him as a singles player, he has a huge impact on teams. He does. And I'm not saying that they're going to be a better fit than Snyder and JT. I don't think they will, but they seem to complement each other very well. We haven't seen it fully tested just yet. It's only been one match, but they seem to not just be complementing each other, but also working well together. They fit. When you see them, you're like, okay, that obviously just makes sense.
They're very loud.
Yeah, and it fits. Well, yeah, and JT with his persona change, the pimp JT, whatever his name is.
Literally and figuratively, because their outfits are pretty loud too.
Yeah, I'm going to need him to reel it in a little bit and let Adam Witt talk every once in a while, because JTE just goes. He goes. Like, yeah. I'm like, all right, here comes Adam. Nope, he's still talking. And it's like, but yeah, no, they're pretty funny together. That, like I said, they remind me of 2 people that just got ample amounts of pre-workout and they're just like, all right, let's do this. What are we doing? So, yeah.
Well, and
they're the people who are just, if there's coffee in the room, they're going to drink it.
Yeah. Too much of it.
JT was obviously with Gucci for a long time, but I think he fits better with someone like Adam Witt, someone who's a little bit more free.
Yeah.
like not as many boundaries and doesn't have as big of a personality or requires as much as someone like Gucci does. You know,
Mhm.
you kind of have to like buy into what Gucci is and everything that he does. Whereas Adam Witt, you're like, he's just Adam Witt, right?
I feel like with Gucci, you're buying into Gucci. You're not really
Yeah.
so much buying into the team.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
the other version is quite opposite.
And JTE, like, he knows the game better than most people, and he's been in it for a long time. So he doesn't need a manager like Gucci just
Mhm.
hovering over him
Yep.
all the time, like pushing his own agenda. He's thriving, getting a little bit of freedom.
Well, yeah, he needs a manager who's going to give him pre-workout and then let him do whatever the hell he wants.
And wear whatever he wants.
Or wear whatever he wants. Yeah. Comes out with a cane out of all things. Like, okay, Penguin. Interesting point here, though, as Curtis says, they did call out King Arthur. Which is
you
a
need
big
to
deal.
win one or two more.
Which
feel.
is that's a big deal. But
Yeah.
JT is going for the exchange. That's what he's trying to do. You know, former faction mate over there. But this is also something we can talk about. We saw another wild card slice.
I know.
Alien Invasion wild card slice, which was really cool and fun category.
That is a
all about
vast
Alien Invasion movies.
Vast category.
It might be my favorite thing happening so far this year is the wild card stuff.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
Because we're hitting it so much, but it's just seeing like the anticipation for whatever wild, crazy category is sitting behind that wheel slice. I hope it's hit every single match.
I almost like don't even want spinner's choice and
you just want three wild cards.
I just kind of want 3 wild cards because it's been super entertaining. Like that Alien Invasion one, I'm like, oh my god, that is a huge.
There's so many movies.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, in what range are you going? Like, could they be like small little Alien Invasion movie? Like, that would not be a category that I'd be like, okay, well, this is going to be difficult, but I think I agree with you, Jake. I think that's my favorite thing so far.
Yeah, we're getting to see the question writers really like get to spread their wings a little bit and do something a little more creative, and it's certainly paying off. And I think the players too, like when they spin the wild card slice, they're like, oh great, like they're excited about it because you know there's who knows what it could be. And yeah, I think they liked the questions that they got because they were great questions.
Yeah, I'm waiting for someone to actually test their luck and take it in the first spin.
Well, the movement almost did, and we were able to hear them talking again because of the mics. But they were talking about it because they landed on wild, and I believe they went second in that round. And JT said, "I don't mind it, but the chance of hitting opponents is there. So they decided against it because of hitting opponent's choice. And I don't know how much that would have mattered. Like it would have been possible that they could have gotten something that they really liked, but they did discuss it. So clearly people are actually excited to possibly take a wild card slice. And that likely will obviously raise if someone already lands on opponents, then it's either wild or spinners. Then you're like, your chances go up on whatever you're going to get. It could be a wacky category that you have no idea what it is. But I imagine most of these players are probably going to go in wanting to select the wild card slice. Because so far it seems like a success.
Chat's talking about a wild card exhibition match where the whole wheel is wild card slices.
My god,
that would be
Bill brought it up. Yeah, I would love
fun.
that. Oh my god, that'd be so fun.
But yeah, it's more entertaining to watch a wild card slice being like those questions being answered than because if they get spinner's choice, then it's like, all right, well, there goes the match, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's not always the case, but there's a good chance that if someone picks, a spinner's choice category, they're going to do well.
Again, I am not opposed to taking away spinners and opponents.
I'm sure they talked about it. I'm sure they talked about it in the offseason.
I mean, yes, I get it. That is very much it. Like the spinners and opponents is very much like a key to it. Like getting rid of that would be a big deal. Like if you got rid of that, it'd be a big deal. But cards.
I like
are
what
so
Brian Ward
fun.
said. Can you give someone the wild card slice if they get opponent's choice?
Oh,
I like that.
I think you can, but then you run the risk of giving them spinners. Because it's still covered.
that would be interesting. I never actually thought about that.
Because there's 3 wild cards, and say they land on opponents. The other 2 are covered, so you don't know which one is spinners and which one's the wild card. You would run the chance of giving them spinners if you actually did do
That
that.
would be very interesting. That would be
That's a
ballsy
Moneyball
gameplay.
situation. That is 100% a Moneyball situation where you're playing the stats in your head of like, okay, obviously if they land on this, blah blah blah. Like someone's running all kinds of math in their head at that point.
I told Alex if he gave me opponent's, or if he spun opponent's choice, he had to give me spinner's choice.
Fair. I mean, that's absolutely fair.
Which doesn't really matter in Star Wars, but still, it would have been funny.
Okay, before we move on from this one, interesting thing here from Christopher. I think he said it a few times, or maybe someone else said it as well. I just want to see the movement versus ruling class, so I can have the Flouse and Wit in a promo battle.
Oh man,
Jeez.
that would be so good.
I mean, look, they are both 1-0. They are both 1-0. So it seems like it's very likely that you probably will see them face off against each other.
The amount of testosterone in that.
But, and you know, on this point, I will say, and I know that everyone is super busy in production and all that stuff. I would like to see a little bit more promo work personally. We haven't really gotten it this year and I know that old Schmoedown used to have like the pre-match interviews where you'd get on a mic and you start talking crap about your opponent or being nice or whatever it is your character does. I would like to see a little bit because it doesn't seem like we get much outside of them getting on the mic right before they start playing. And I know it's all set up differently. It's kind of a different thing this year. But that was a big part of what Schmoedown was. Is just
probably
like
them trying to keep it under that like hour and a half.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I mean, like Christopher's saying, I mean, how can you not have a promo of Flouse versus Wit if the chance arises? You know, like if it's there,
100%.
You kind of have like you got to take the opportunity there. And I know they're doing it in person, but I did miss the times where they sat in front of a green screen and they kind of talked their ish a little bit against each other.
That has to at least be a cutscene of them talking,
and maybe that's maybe a good point,
to each other.
Good point. Maybe that's we saw the Flouse first Koi one where he slapped him.
Yeah, if you're gonna have Wit versus Flouse, you have to at least have them talking poo-poo to each other, like something. Bye, Jill. Fly safe.
Fly safe, Jill.
You're like 40-minute flight. But yeah, that would be a chaotic match.
I mean, right now they're both 1-0. It makes sense that they play. It does.
Oh yeah, I mean, we are seeing a lot of people play multiple times already. Like if they've played in the first one, then another team plays in the second, then they're more than likely playing in the third. So I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense than King Arthur.
I'm sorry.
That's a little big for their britches.
Yeah, you're going for the people that could have potentially had a belt.
Well, that's just like the ruling class calling out Shazam. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and then they played the Mercs B team is what they ended up playing. So.
Yeah, but I would say the same thing. Like you're not going to go straight to Shazam. Like,
who's the Exchange's B? I guess we don't know much about the Exchange at this moment, do we? Griffey. Yeah. Oh no, they have 4 of their 5, or do they have all 5? They have 4.
Barbarian,
Griffey,
Khan, Gold Leader, I would assume.
And then
who's this?
Gold Leader was in one of the promos this week, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. Okay, so who's my
I think it's just those 4. Because he dropped Ty. He had Radis is currently MIA. No Taylor Robinson, no JTE, no Roca. Yeah, it's just the 4. It's just the 4.
Yeah, so there wouldn't be a B team unless Gold Leader's playing singles now.
Well,
I would love to see that.
That would be amazing. But Barbarian, he could find a teammate. Maybe he starts playing teams. That's possible.
Salvin, Brother Lomas went back to the church island he's been on. Get out of here.
What church island?
The one, what's that? one that just happened, the Halloween one, the one that we all not Murder House. What is it? Which
What?
one? You know what I'm talking about? The haunting, whatever.
Mass Effect? Or not Mass Effect.
Blind
Midnight
Man.
Mass.
Oh,
Midnight
Midnight
Mass
Mass.
Island. He's on that
Midnight
island.
Mass.
Okay. The
Thank
one
you.
where the one where everybody like caught fire and died.
Yeah, that one.
Spoilers, Molly.
Spoilers, sorry. It's a great show. Great show.
It's a wild show. Interesting point here from Brian Nussbaum, though. Exchange has no IG player.
Oh.
Barbarian has played IG, but a
Well,
straight IG player.
Barbarian's very good at IG.
He
I will
is.
give him that. So I don't even think you really need someone.
But out of like IG players that are left, I mean,
There's still quite a few out there that haven't been. I
Yeah.
mean, Zipper hasn't been.
Oh God, poor Zipper with the
I
Exchange.
know.
he would not come in on that faction.
No. I honestly feel like you just roll with Barbarian. Barbarian is good.
I mean, look, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but Robert Parker is still out there.
That is true.
True.
I'm not saying it's going to happen.
I don't think poor Parker.
I
could
still
be-
think he might end up with Adam on the fan favorites.
It makes sense, but
'Cause
what if
they're
he wants
pretty
to
close.
spite- what if he wants to spite Kaiser so much he goes with Gucci?
that.
Oh,
Like that's your ultimate play.
I don't care
Yeah.
how much spite you have to give. I wouldn't. No. No.
I mean, like there's
that'd be
like
rough.
I think Jesse Swift is still out there. I mean, Brandon Hanna's been swapped up. Obviously, Chunju Mara's probably going to be Rogue. Mike, obviously. Yeah, I mean,
you could on IG. You see a lot of singles people wanting to tap into IG, so you could literally do like a 1-day contract where it's like, all right, you're gonna play for us, show us what you got, type thing.
I mean, at the same time too, we know that IG is going to get a little bit of a less spotlight this year. So allowing Barbarian to play both would be easier on him this year than it would last year.
Yeah,
So maybe he is their IG player, and that's what they want to focus on. Like it's very.
I think Barbarian playing singles. Teams doesn't seem like possible at this point. So singles IG is probably a decent fit for him. Oh, that's true. You still have FCL.
All of them are saying they should pick up Sean Wingblade from the FCL. Shawnee, if you're watching,
Ooh.
I mean,
Sean, I don't see Sean as an.
I'm gonna. Oh, really? I actually felt like that could kind of work.
I don't see him like. I see him more of like a fan favorite style. But who knows?
Gucci would have to have a lot to offer him, I think, to pick him up. And yeah, more than just socks.
A $300 one sock, not two.
One sock.
Just one single sock. All right, enough of that about that business. Let's get to the big match of the night. Continue on with one Barbarian.
Oh, Moose.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
We haven't heard anything about Moose. Thank you, Nussbaum. I completely forgot about that.
I'll have to talk to Mark and see what his deal is. Maybe I'll get an inside scoop. I talked to Mark a little bit, so see where his head's at.
That's because you guys drink whiskey together.
Facts. Okay, let's get to this big main event match of Friday night here. We have the return of the Inglorious One. It's crazy to think about that Samm Levine played 4 years ago. 4 years ago was his last match. He returned in a number one contender match up against the Barbarian. He called for it, and I'm not going to say he made it look easy, but he made it look easy.
This man literally walked up to the stage, answered it, and then left. Like, that's how it felt.
It was, and look, obviously there's time in between stuff, and Barbarian was trying to talk some ish to him and kind of get in his head. But it was like smooth sailing from start to finish for Samm. He didn't miss a question. He went to multiple choice twice, but he didn't miss at all.
Didn't miss, yeah.
He got
went
bonus
back down.
he got bonus in the first round. Then he answered his 2 and his 3 to beat Barbarian in the final round. But Barbarian looked just as incredible as he's looked ever. I mean, the dude looked great.
He was impressive.
Yeah, and he answered a lot of great questions. But the talk is Samm. I mean, Samm is officially back, and now he's going on to play Marisol for the singles belt. it's crazy to think about, because of when he left, he had both belts in hand. He was on a 7-game winning streak. He just continued that to an 8-game winning streak. And now he's going for 9. I mean, this guy's one of the greatest of all time, and he's coming back like it's just nothing. Like nothing was it just happened yesterday.
Has not skipped a beat at all.
He literally, like I said, he literally walked up, answered the questions, and bounced like that. That's how it felt.
Was this his only match? He said it in the post interview. He said he thought that might have been his only match that he hadn't missed a question on.
I mean, if that's the case, that's crazy. But then to come back after 4 years and just drop a bomb like that, like, bro.
Yeah, I don't. There is
as Jeremy says, he didn't have a perfect game, but he threw a no-hitter.
Yeah.
There was. You know what that means? Good for you, Maul.
Well,
Baseball.
I get it. I get the gist of it.
Yeah. There's literally like I look at that guy and I'm like, who can beat
He
that?
looked like he was at Wednesday night bar trivia around the corner.
It's just literally like there is a short list of people that can beat that. And right now, I can't find that list. So it's.
I think after seeing him play, and we talked about like maybe there's ring rust because we saw it with some competitors. Obviously, the one going to Dan Merle against Andrew Guy. But we saw last year how Mara came in and took down Chundru. Right now in singles, obviously anybody can beat him on any given day, depending on how the questions are. But if you're to put a player up against a player on how they're playing, the only person I can think of is Marisol. That is the only person
At this point.
Like I know Dan is Dan, but Dan has had a lot of iffy games over the last year. Marisol has been stellar for the last year, and she's currently holding the belt. They are the two best at what they're doing right now, and to see them face off is going to be absolutely insane.
I think Samm, like, yes, he played really, really well. I think the next time we see him play with Marisol, and then going forward, I think the questions, the level of questions are probably going to be harder. Because, like, I don't want to say that there were some softball questions, but I knew a lot of them, and I just know about Star Wars, so. But I think he spun. Did he spin 60s and then spun away from it?
He spun away from it, and then he got
Disney.
No,
Barbarian. That was Barbarian.
Oh,
did he get 90s? Was it 90s?
90s, yes.
I think it was 90s, right? It was 90s.
So, he, next time he might get that 60s slice and might not do too hot. I think he's pretty good at 90s movies.
Yeah, I mean, he was in a bunch of movies in the 90s.
If you offered me $100 right now, I don't even think I can name a movie that's from the 60s.
No, sorry. He took John Hughes. That's
John Hughes. 90s, damn near same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think he got the 90s in round 3 is what I was thinking of. But yeah, he took John Hughes, which when he spun that and he was thinking about it, I go, what are you talking about, Samm? Like, take the, like, what? Take the slice, moron. Like, that's your slice. Duh. Like, it's Sam Levine. John Hughes just fits. But, yeah, I mean, I was interested in the Barbarian taking the Disney slice.
Barbarian spun 60s. Okay, sorry, I got those.
Oh, he spun away from 60s. He landed on Disney. Okay. The amount of crap talking during Barbarian's second round on Samm not knowing Disney, and then Barbarian missing a question and Samm answering the question correctly was the perfect cherry on top to the entire day.
Yeah.
It was so perfect.
Don't talk crap to someone like Samm. Just don't.
I mean, he's literally a professional comedian. The dude stars in comedy movies. Like, that's what he does.
But he doesn't even need to talk crap. Like, he's just got what it takes to beat literally anyone.
Yeah.
So he's just gonna beat you and walk away and laugh about it.
Yeah. My favorite part was when he went to spin. Was it Mark or one of them was like, and he doesn't have a manager, and he goes, "I am my own manager."
Yeah.
Or whatever the line was around that. I was like, that tracks.
Well, I mean, look, the last 2 years, and Molly can even say, because you were on the Suspects the first season, he's been in study sessions with players the last 2 years. Like, so even though he hasn't been playing matches, he's still been collecting all of that information that they've been talking about over the last 2 years, which has the league has expanded immensely in just the last 2 years. And it's clearly paying off of all that time spent on all those Zoom calls with Ethan or Paige or Liz or even Star Wars, right? It's like he's just sitting there sponging in all this info, and now he comes back and just explodes it onto the Barbarian, and the Barbarian's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do?
Choices of words.
Choices.
Hey,
Molly,
choices
Molly
are
and
made,
I,
Brian.
Molly and I both went like gave each other a look.
You guys went there.
Nope. Choices were made.
No, yeah. This is everybody keeps talking about like this is like Sam's big comeback, but he's been in the game this whole time just as a manager. But
He never really like left.
yeah,
I mean, he did for a little bit, but like the man still knows exactly what he's doing.
even being a manager, like you still got to know the game really well. You still are helping your, faction study and quizzing people, and just he's definitely staying on top of things. And I thought it was really sweet that Rachel was there and we got to see
That was
them
cool when
hug.
she ran out. That was pretty cute. That was pretty cute.
That was
So
cool.
sweet. You could
So
see her
sweet.
Friday on.
I know, we can talk to her about it.
Well, I mean, we could do a major plug if you guys really wanted to.
A major plug.
up-
Oh,
up to
we
you
should wait
guys.
for Jill though.
Yeah,
Okay, fair enough.
maybe they can shoot like a little preview.
Do we have time for that, Brian?
I mean,
We'll make time.
Just saying. I mean, we could drop a slight bomb, but we'll save that for later.
did you purposely just do that? Where you went, drop a bomb, and it literally says "bomb" across your shirt.
Oh no, I didn't.
Is it
Hit bomb.
hit bombs? What does that
Um,
mean? Is that a golf term?
It's a golf shirt. Yeah, I hit bombs.
Like
What's
you
a
hit it
bomb
really-
in golf?
The golf ball's a bomb. See.
Like you hit it really far.
Oh.
Anyway, okay, I have a couple comments starred here I want to bring up. Christopher Stykleather. I think more than ever, the Samm Marisol title match is going to be decided by the speed round. It
Mhm.
almost, honestly, like on average or more than average, that's the decision. The speed round is always kind of the decision.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes the most sense because, like, I don't see them missing very many questions. And it may just very well be the first person to miss a question, like a full-on Star Wars match where it's like first to miss is pretty much done. So, because these two are like, there isn't very much better than these two right now.
I mean,
So,
we've seen
There isn't any better.
Yeah.
We've seen some curveballs, if I can use a sports term.
Look at Molly.
Thank you. Well, yeah, we've seen some curveballs thrown around in the speed round, so that's certainly not out of the question.
Well, and you know what's even better about this, you guys, is that this is the buzzers.
Yes.
This is the buzzers. This ain't no fast
Fact.
money.
Marisol's
baby.
quick on that buzzer, too.
This is
Mhm.
the buzzers, and I am so pumped because I am pro buzzers 1000%.
Same.
And we've seen Samm on the buzzers in the past. He's very much like the kid, not as quick and jittery. But like Brian said, Marisol demolished that buzzer round at Spectacular. She crushed it. And they're the two best in the world. They're the two best in the world at this right now. And I mean, seeing them go up against each other in the fourth week of the season is just like absolutely chaotic.
I know. We're doing match of the year contender, and it's week 4. Week 4, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Okay,
good.
let's see. I'm gonna pull up a couple comments while we.
Are you going to pull up that, Jake? Are you a long game or short game?
No, I'm pulling up Vapion here. Turns out my bar trivia knowledge of Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, and Ferris Bueller did not help with a Drill Bit Taylor question.
Same.
You're welcome, Vapion. You're welcome.
Same.
Which, and just everyone watching, Vapion is our John Hughes bar trivia movie,
Hmm.
our bar
Mhm,
movie trivia champion on the
Mhm.
POV Patreon. So if you want to see him at some John Hughes trivia, that's the guy to find. Jeremy here says Samm vs. Marisol is a legacy match I cannot wait for.
That's a very good term for it.
That's a great way to put it. Great
Yeah.
way to put it.
Yeah. This This is going to be one of those matches that you probably like. If you're introducing people to the Schmoedown, you show them this. Like, I haven't even seen the match, and I guarantee you it's probably going to be one of those.
Yeah. It sucks for Barbarian though, because like he's been doing so well, and I just like I want him to get more wins. Like I feel like he deserves it, but he got thrown into the deep end like right off the bat as Sam's
Play Sam
warm up. Yeah, here's a warm up for Sam, and then Sam's gonna play Marisol for the belt. So I don't know.
Correct me if I'm wrong. His last 2 matches are Sam and Griffin Newman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
But remember though, he had a giant lead on Griffin Newman.
I know.
He had a huge lead last season on Griffin. It's funny they bring that up because even though like he played great in the season he had last year, it always feels like whoever he's playing or the storyline is overshadowing him.
Yeah.
Like he's never talked about because, like Brian said, he got thrown in and he's playing Sam Levine. He played great, but because Sam won, that's the talk of the town. Last season, Griffin Newman was this rookie, undefeated, going to spectacular in 2 matches. But even though Barbarian played great, all the talk was Griffin Newman. It just feels like every time he's playing great competitors, and he's just getting overshadowed by whatever's happening. Even in the match he played Alex and IG, the one thing coming out of that match with Barbarian was Elvis getting yeeted.
Elvis. Yeah.
Elvis getting yeeted. That's the only thing that came out of that match for Barbarian.
Yeah.
So I do think that with less people on the faction will allow him to really shine like how he should, because he is kind of like the heart and soul of that faction. He is the guy that everyone's been put around, right? He is the centerpiece
of that faction.
Um,
Literally the brain.
So I feel like now that we're getting into this style of Schmoedown, he's finally going to get that chance to really show like what he's capable of in matches, like almost like Ben Bateman was a couple years ago, where he got like 8 to 10 matches a year and he was kind of all over the place. He was making waves. He was playing great, even in losses. I feel like Barbarian is almost set up to have that this year.
I mean, as long as he's not getting thrown against. Hey,
I'm gonna play
IG.
Man.
Oh, here you go. Here's Rachel Cushing. Like,
Yeah. But that seems to just be what this season is gonna be, because with with all the factions being whittled down to, you know, the best of the best, and then you've got your rogue players that are just kind of thrown in. It's just like every match this year is going to be insane, I think.
I agree. I mean, because it almost feels like this year rankings, like as far as where you are, don't really matter. They're going to put the best up against the best every single time.
Yeah, which is terrifying.
Yeah, it's not going to be like, oh, we're going to put you up against this person to get you a win. Like wins and losses at this point really almost don't matter. They're going to put whoever you think is able to play up against whoever you think is able to play. Which creates better like product for us. I mean, it's better for us to watch. I do want to point out real quick, the Movie Trivia Schmoedown YouTube page is in here watching. Christian's watching, but he's watching in back. So we're about to see a flood of comments of him correcting everything we're saying like 20 minutes ago. So in case you're watching, everybody, and you're seeing those comments, we can all laugh at that a little bit later, and Christian's probably going to be commenting and saying stuff later on. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But yeah, look, let's kind of talk about Marisol Samm for a little bit, because it is coming up. We won't have a show.
Undercard too.
We could talk about the undercard. You are correct, Brian.
That undercard is not an easy feat.
Okay, well, before we get to the main event, let's talk about the undercard. Thank you for bringing that up. This is the first time we'll be seeing these two gentlemen this year, William Bibbiani and Chance Ellison, a singles match as the undercard prior to Samm versus Marisol, which is just insane to think about. These two guys are two of the best to do it. Chance had an amazing year last year. He was all over the place. Actually, the last 2 years, he was doing incredible stuff, both in IG team singles. He arguably kind of overtook Mike as the A player on that Korruption team. And then Bibbs is Bibbs. Bibbs does what Bibbs does. He always wins. He always, does really well. But this is kind of like you don't really know what's going to happen. It's the first time we're seeing them all the year. Is one of them going to have a little ring rust? Is someone going to come out throwing absolute haymakers? Brian, what do you think about Ellison versus Bibbiani?
Well, the whole entire card is all A players.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
straight up.
Facts.
There is not any like I'm sorry. There's
That's a Final Four right there.
Yeah, there's zero argument if anyone's like, well, this is no, they're all A players. Like this is where you're cream of the crop at the top. This could go either way. I'm tending to lead towards Bibbs.
I am too, but I'm a Shazam shill.
But you're a shill, so that's a
shill.
thing.
I'm a very outspoken, proud to be shill.
Yeah, but see, anytime anyone says anything to Chance, it just lights a fire. So it's like, okay. I don't want to say anything.
I don't think I've said this on camera. But at Spectacular, obviously we all get to hang out and kind of meet the players and stuff. We were out for Jill's birthday, and Chance came up to me and he goes, "I just want to let you know, last year you said that I don't have what it takes to win a belt, and I got to a belt." And he said that comment lit me up like no other. I was like, you know what? I'll take that. I'll talk bad about you all the time. That way you play well.
I'm doing this for your benefit.
Yeah. This is a coin toss for me. Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's going to be interesting because, I mean, obviously this is the first time we'll see either of them this season. Bibbs has a couple of years on Chance. So I feel like his just natural movie trivia knowledge is a little bit more tuned, more well-tuned. But Chance, you know, he studies.
Yeah.
You can tell that man studies and he knows his stuff. So I'm also going to err on the side of Bibbs winning that one, but in the hopes that Chance will hear me say that and then prove me wrong.
Chance is gonna watch this and then comment after he wins and be like, "POV, you mother effer."
Yeah.
We're doing this for his benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, there's very few people that I will pick over Bibbs. Bibbs is one of my favorite players of all time. It's just whoever he faces, most of the time, I'm gonna be picking Bibbs.
Who are you picking if it was Bibbs and Samm?
Samm is my favorite player of all time.
I've heard you say that about like 3 people. Rachel, who else?
No, Sam is
Clark. No, excuse me, Clark.
Samm is my well, there's some of my favorite, but Samm is without a doubt my number 1 all-time favorite player.
Okay.
But and a lot of people in the chat are agreeing with us. Let's see, we have Harrison saying Bibbs, Nussbaum, who is the KO shill here, going with Chance. Mick Stewart says Mercs for life. Leo Logan, Bibbs is my pick. Jeremy, I got Bibbs, and he's probably facing Mr. Irwin. Oh
God.
Let's not think about that too far ahead. Rachel going with Bibbs as well, and then Brian coming back and saying finger crossed for an epic Bibbs entrance. Yes, we can get Bibbs entrances again.
My favorites are also the ones where he just walks in, throws sparkles, and then just like leaves, like those types of things.
Yeah. Jeffrey here going with Bibbs as well. Jeff Nichols says second round will decide if Chance wins. That's not really a pick, Jeff, but I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then Carissa is also saying I got Bibbs.
Theral brought up Hitchcock. Like, I mean, I'm sure Chance is studying stuff like Hitchcock, and you know,
that's hard to study. That's got to be hard to study.
Oh yeah,
singles in general is hard to study.
I mean, fair.
Every movie ever.
Yeah,
you know, Bibbs has a lot of matches out there that you can watch and kind of get a feel for his gameplay and for what he might be a little bit weaker or stronger in. So you know, Chance is looking at all that stuff and studying all of.
He's like a
his weeks.
supercomputer. He knows.
I really hope a wild card slice comes into play.
That I was thinking
the
exact same thing.
I don't know who I wanted to land on more, but I really hope it's at some point we do see a wild card slice.
I kind of just want to see Bibbs do it because I feel like he would have fun with it. Whereas
I think Bibbs would take wild card as his first spin.
Probably.
I think Bibbs would take it as his first spin just to be like, let's do it.
Yeah. He seems to really enjoy the challenge of something like that. So
well, and I think if I'm not mistaken, he and Bateman were the ones who were actually practicing it while they were testing it. So he has experience with a wild card already.
There you go.
Which is public knowledge, everybody. That was on Backstage.
I mean, either way, like, there's no way to like fully prepare for it because it's not a category that we've seen. There's a 66 point whatever chance that you're not going to get the actual like new category. You might get spinners, but you might get opponents. So I mean, you can practice that all you want.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Just looking at it, the stats are in your favor if you do spin it. But like Brian said, I mean, you just never know. You just never know. I
mean, these categories, what we've seen, it could be like movies with female actresses. Oh, okay, great.
Famous movie swords.
Yeah,
like, something random as hell.
It's just like, oh, okay, great. That doesn't limit anything.
I can't wait to see what a Star Wars wildcard slice is. I cannot wait.
Oh, I'd pay money to see that in singles. To have them like characters in Star Wars. Oh
no, that's a little too much. But I honestly like Star Wars and IG wildcard slices. I am so excited to see what they are. That's going to be so fun to see how crazy someone like PJ and then PLD get with those slices in those geeky movies, especially Star Wars. Like, I couldn't even imagine what a slice name will be called for a wildcard Star Wars slice.
I really I just prefer slices that are all encompassing over all the movies, but they could be, you know, just a general slice. Like I think Han Solo was a slice, and it's just like any movie that Han Solo was in.
Star Wars spoof movies.
Speaking of Star Wars spoof movies, everybody, this week is Bar Movie Trivia here on the POV Patreon.
Oh my God, it's this week.
It is this week.
I forgot. I gotta.
Speaking of,
God, March is just.
Speaking of, our Bar Movie Trivia topic this month is Mel Brooks.
I'm gonna need you to start making cool images. Otherwise, I'm gonna do it.
It is of making what?
Cool images for bar trivia.
No, it's
something else. I'll do it.
Just do it anyways.
So this month, we have Mel Brooks is the theme, and the movies that we have are Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, and The Producers are the 4 movies included in our Bar Movie Trivia this month.
I know one of those movies.
We did 4 of them because Mel Brooks is just a plethora of goodness, and it allows us to branch out a little bit more. So if you are interested in some Mel Brooks Bar Movie Trivia, whether it's Spaceballs or something like Young Frankenstein, it's coming this Wednesday, y'all. This Wednesday, it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. And Selvin, to answer your question, the Q&A will be dropping this week. I'm telling you,
she's not here, so blame Jill.
Selvin, March out of all the months we've done the Patreon so far on POV, this March has been our absolute craziest.
Literally, I don't think I've ever had to deal with scheduling.
Yeah,
for us for more than this.
We've all been extremely busy, so we do apologize to all of our patrons that we are a little late. But everything is coming. It'll all drop the next 2 weeks. You're gonna get everything all at once, essentially.
Yeah, you're gonna get overflow. Overload.
But look, this week, Bar Movie Trivia, Mel Brooks, be there or you suck. Okay, let's get to the next match of next week's pay-per-view event, which I will say, if you are not a Movie Trivia Schmoedown Patreon member, you will not be watching the pay-per-view next week. It is just for the Patreon members. It's not like Friday Night Titans where it's released publicly. It is just secluded to the Patreon members. So become part of the Patreon. You get this pay-per-view event. It's going to be worth it. You've seen what Titans is all about, but you see the matches that are included. It's a no-brainer, guys. Get involved in that. Go support it. It just helps everything in the back end with the studio, players, etc. But we have Marisol. We have Samm. We have new blood versus old blood. And Marisol is holding that belt, and she's looking for a 3-time defense. She is looking to defend it for the 3rd time, which has never happened before. That has never happened before in the history of the Schmoedown. And she's going up against someone who has defended it before. And who the last time he played, or second to last time he played, he had that belt over his shoulder.
He's never lost it.
He has never lost the belt. So who we got in this one, guys? Thoughts?
I abstain.
Nope. No abstaining. No abstaining.
Oh,
Abstain.
man.
I plead the fifth.
Oh, no.
Come on.
I don't know. I want to say Marisol. My heart says Marisol.
I'm the
because
same way.
But
She's working, she's working so hard studying, and she wants it more than he does, I think.
ooh,
I agree with you because I feel
She
like
wants
he's
to keep
almost
that.
just doing it just to like, yeah, I still got it. Like I get that vibe just a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
so you guys are both going Marisol.
That's
Her
what my
heart.
heart wants.
Yep.
But what
Yes.
is your head telling you?
That's not. No.
My head is telling me to say what my heart wants.
Yep.
I'm going Sam. It's nothing against Marisol. It's nothing against Marisol. I think that she's fantastic. And I do think that if she does lose it this Friday, I do think at some point this season she will work her way back into getting that title, whether it's a match or having that belt over her shoulder. I think she's one of the best players we have in this league. What she does overall with movie trivia is pretty insane. But I do think that Sam is almost a perfect match for her. And if he plays like he did last weekend in a 5-round match where he is usually the best at speed round, it might be a little too much for her. It might just be a little too much for her because a lot of people do forget nobody ever beat Sam in speed. He was the best of the best at speed round. And of course, like maybe 4 years in age has made him different. I don't know. But you never know.
He's old now.
He's old. I don't know. But I'm gonna give it to Sam slightly. But I think it's gonna go down as one of the best matches we've seen. I really do. These two players are so overall just fantastic. It's crazy to think that we're even getting this match because a month ago Sam wasn't even in the league, and now he's playing Marisol McKee for the singles belt. Like
She's only ever lost one time.
yeah.
One time.
Yeah. And
She's
Sam knows
8-1.
that, like, Sam knows how good she is and how much she wants it. So he's not going to go into this thinking it's a gimme. He's taking it very seriously. So
They are so close, similarly in records too. He's 11-4, and she's 8-1.
dang.
She's about to be 8-2.
Talk the crap.
Right now you're actively rooting against her.
Uh-huh.
I'm not. Well, yes, in this instant, yes. All right, let's see. Nussbaum, being the corruption Chili is, this is legitimately tough, but it got to go with Marisol with her 5-pointer. Okay, so down to the wire. Fair enough.
Mhm.
Farrell is going Sam. Curtis has a bold statement. Oyama going to crash in right after.
Ooh, that would be fun.
God.
Okay, actually, you know what? He has a legitimate claim here because when is the next time that we're going to see that belt holder defend the belt before the free-for-all?
See, now that Adam's there, I almost feel like the teams is where he goes with it.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. And so to Curtis's point here, the pay-per-view for April is the free-for-all. So when is the next time we're going to see that singles belt holder defend the belt before the free-for-all?
I mean, if you look at it that way, then that would mean that we only would have 10 belt days?
I mean, well, Paul has a month. Paul has a month to
No, but I mean, if we're only using the pay-per-views for belt matches, you'd only have 8, maybe 9.
which I think is totally fine.
Across 4 divisions, though? Unless you have double belt pay-per-views, which that would be kind of dope.
Yeah, I think at some point we will get double belt. Plus, don't include Spectacular in that. Spectacular is obviously a belt.
I wasn't.
And Collision. Collision is also a huge belt thing as well. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, Curtis has a very, very high claim that we could see Paul Oyama crash. It's very possible because Sam did the same thing.
That.
Sam did the same exact thing when Dan Murrell won. He crashed and he ended up losing.
And who's the only person to ever beat Marisol? Paul.
Like that would be insane. Curtis, you might have just broke the Schmoedown.
I think you broke Jake before you broke the Schmoedown.
That would be prime time. That would be crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, back to this real quick. Jeff Nichols going with Lady Justice. Jeff DeGraw, I think it will be Marisol, but it's going to be a close one. Let's see. Jeremy Miller. Justice will be served to Samm, Levine. Go Marisol. Kyle Beckler says, I just can't wait to see the speed round. Hey, very fair.
Fair.
Very fair. Justin Square here. Polyama challenges the winner at the end of the match. So he's on Curtis's train.
Yeah.
All right.
Makes
So
sense.
Interesting. I didn't think about that. That's very interesting.
I didn't realize you had to use the chip before the next free for all. So I mean,
You got to use it for the next free for
it
all.
makes sense.
Might
Yep.
as well, yeah.
And to answer Jeffrey here real quick, she does not get an automatic rematch because she hasn't defended 3 times. She has to defend 3 times for an automatic rematch, I believe. I could be mistaken.
How many times did Alex? Well, Alex did it like 97.
I'm pretty sure
I don't
that's why.
remember.
He did it like 97 times.
Why I'm pretty sure that's why Dimolanta didn't get a rematch is because he only defended twice against.
Oh yeah,
Alex
that makes
Cora,
sense.
And then he lost to Thomas.
That makes sense because I remember us specifically saying if he wins one more time, he gets a
Yeah, so I believe it's 3 times. So if Marisol lost, she would not get a rematch. She would probably end up going to like a number 1 contender match, which is basically the same thing. You just have to win it to get back. But I'm pretty sure.
Well, if they're smart, they put her below the number 1 contender, and she just runs through people.
You never know.
Oh God, give me Janine and her again.
Ooh.
Although
Janine did just lose, though.
I don't care.
I don't care either, but
Throw the rules out the window.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up tonight, everybody. We covered everything we needed to. We talked about the 2 matches. We did if you joined us a little bit later, make sure you go to the beginning of the video. We did a reaction to the Shannon, Barney, Adam Collins video cutscene that was at the end of last week's Friday Night Titans, where we learned that Adam Collins is officially a member of Swag. We had not seen it. We did a live reaction to start the show. Go check that out. And I know everyone's been asking. I promise it's happening. We've been saying this, but it might be happening this week if we're able to find the time. Reactions are coming back. We will be doing reactions. There is a specific way that it is coming back. But we're not going to reveal that just yet. So you will see us on a weekly basis outside of the show. We'll be doing reactions, and we'll be back just as we usually are every year, watching these matches with you guys. So check that out. I don't know if we want to plug Happy Hour with our. Do we just want to plug the day and the time?
That is not up to us. That is up to
I'll leave it to you. Molly.
Have we not? What have we plugged for happy hour so far? I
Just
can't.
Just
that
that
it's
Rachel
Rachel.
Cushing.
Oh, I'm so excited, Rachel. So we can say when and where. Well,
We
people
can
know where.
It's
I was gonna
where's
say,
here. Where's
showing?
here. Where's here. But yeah, we can wait on the speciality of this one if we want.
Yeah, I feel like this is a big one. We want to wait for Jill.
So yeah, go
But
on.
we can't say when it's happening.
Yeah, go for it.
This month's happy hour is a big one, guys, and it is happening this Friday after the Schmoedown stuff.
Yeah, we announced that last week, right? Because
Yes,
he was.
we did.
Yeah.
Because Christian was like, "Wait, it's not happening during the pay-per-view, right?" That's what
Someone's
Christian said.
A little threatened. Just gonna say.
This
No, I'm kidding.
Friday, after all the pay-per-view stuff is over. I mean, what better way to hang out and chat as like a little after party
Mhm.
for the pay-per-view? Come to happy hour.
This is the after party of all after parties, y'all.
I'm so excited because I'm literally going to be using it as an excuse to get Taco Bell. Sorry,
That's what it's become.
Diet doesn't happen on happy hour
Facts.
days.
Facts.
Oh no.
Facts.
No.
Mhm.
It's gonna be
I'm
so-
finding any excuse, any reason. Happy hour? Yep. Taco Bell.
gonna be
This
so
is
cool.
funny. Farrell tried to plug it for us. I'll plug. It's Rachel and Sam. Farrell, you're wrong. So
Incorrect.
Yeah.
We couldn't even get him on the show tonight.
Yeah.
So, nope.
Sam's a busy
Okay.
guy.
he's a busy guy. He's a busy guy.
I mean, so is Rachel, but she's doing us a favor.
Yeah, Mick, to answer your question, bar trivia, pay-per-view happy hour, and the Q&A, all of it this week. All of it. It's all this week.
Yeah, March has been wild.
And Gordon, to answer your question, everything is pre-taped. It's all pre-taped. I believe live stuff at the moment for the essence of how Friday Night Titans is set up. Everything is going to be edited and pre-taped.
Well, I would assume so because you're not going to do the cutscenes live.
Exactly. So just for the time being, expect Friday Night Titans and pay-per-views to be pre-taped. It just fits the show a little bit better. So.
The next live thing they do is probably going to be at Celebration if they do anything there.
Makes sense because they're not
that or Collision, one or the other. Yeah, that or Collision.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, which I mean, that's fine. A title match taped it's just like the past, like Collision or anything else like that. So, but yeah, I mean, outside of that, that's all you're thinking about right now, huh?
Yeah.
Well, while you're thinking about Taco Bell, Brian, why don't you plug everything else you got going on for yourself?
Why would I plug when I'm thinking about Taco Bell? No, I'm kidding. Be Ellison on Twitter and Apocalypse Movies with Jake. Are you going to tell them what we're doing on Tuesday? Okay, because we don't know.
Not true.
I don't know. He won't tell me.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to promote us, but he likes to keep things close to the vest.
I mean, you can watch last week's episode, which got a little crazy. So
I did. I was in the chat the whole entire time.
I'm talking to our viewers.
Oh, I was like, what? But yeah, that was a controversial episode. People were not happy about
those three people I were talking to. I don't even know who they are. I think it's ridiculous.
There were hot takes. Molly, who is the best Batman villain of all time in the movies, live action movies?
The movie villains, the best Batman movie villain. Who do you think? In your opinion?
It's strictly your opinion.
Heath Ledger, Joker.
Okay, other than him. Sorry,
other than him.
Yeah, he wasn't part of it.
Oh, other than him.
Yeah.
We kept him out of it because of that reason.
Ooh, all right. Jim Carrey's Riddler.
I tried to fight for him. I tried to fight for him, and they didn't have it. They didn't have it.
What? Okay. Well, I mean, I especially love Batman Forever. It has a special place in my heart, so I'm prepared to fight for that one.
What ended up winning again? Catwoman?
Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman won.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah.
She beat Jack Nicholson's Joker.
That was the runner-up.
She legit did that whip thing with the mannequin heads. Like
that's what everyone was talking about. We were talking about that the entire show.
She's a boss.
Yeah. Fun episode.
Yeah. Well, Molly, go ahead. What do you want to plug?
Oh, you can find us talking about Star Wars over at Star Wars Explained, and I'm currently making my way through Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah,
which
you
is
are.
really fun.
It's been so fun to watch. It's been hilarious.
We've been playing through
that first episode. Oh my!
You died within 5 seconds, and it was the greatest thing of all time.
I'm not a normal video game player.
Like,
so
Cliff, let's go explore it. Off.
My instincts for playing video games isn't very well tuned, so I'm still getting used to everything in the game. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. We're playing those on Tuesdays.
Shock and awe on Alex's face after that too. Like it was like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's played that game so many times, and so if I ever do anything that he just has never seen or surprises him, then that's something. And I'm constantly surprising him. But yeah, that's really fun.
Did you finish your camera for the Legos?
I did.
Okay, I missed that one.
Yeah.
Cute.
It's cute. Yeah, we're still doing our Lego streams on Wednesdays, and we have a fun April Fool's Day video coming.
Oh.
Is it better than last year's? Because last year's was brilliant.
I'm gonna say yes.
Wow. Okay.
We're filming it. We're filming it this week, and it's gonna be out on April 1st.
Okay. The expectations are really high because last year's might be one of my favorites. You guys have ever done.
It might be better than that.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. As Andy says here, Molly's instinct in video games is to jump.
Yeah,
Oh.
you are very much just like instead of walking, it's just jump.
Jump is my go-to attack, which is not an attack.
My favorite thing is just listening and hearing all the button clatter that's going on, like just all kinds of just
It's very much
different
just-
buttons.
Yeah. And Alex is always like yelling at me to block, and I'm like, don't tell me to block. Tell me which button to press because I don't remember what button is block.
Yeah, bad beady.
All right, yeah. So for myself, at Qui-Gon Jake on Twitter, 2N. Someone else took it before I did. Apocalypse Movies with Brian. We are back here, not just on Sunday, but here multiple times this week. You will probably see a reaction. You will see bar movie trivia. You will see the Q&A, and then happy hour on Friday with the great Rachel Cushing. It might look she's one of the greatest to ever play it. It might be one of the most special happy hours that we do at this point because she reached out to us, everybody. We didn't have to reach out to her. She reached out to us. She saw the Nikki DeMolanta episode. And she's like, I want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So you better be there on Friday after the pay-per-view. Also, just quick plug for myself and my fiance Gabby are currently watching the MCU. She's never seen any of the MCU movies. We started with Iron Man. We're going through theatrical, and tomorrow, Captain America: The First Avenger is released. Captain America: The First Avenger is released. She watched. She finally got to see what Captain America is all about. So that'll be released on my channel, and you can check out the rest of them. They're all up there. And then probably next Sunday, we're going to be doing a live watch along to the Avengers. A live watch along to the first.
Oh, before this?
For this.
Wow.
Yeah. So check that out. We're going to be doing live watch alongs to all of the big MCU films because I don't want to cut those. I just don't want to. That's just hard work.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. So, and then Jill is Jilly Marie, 2 Y's, 2 E's on Twitter. She's talking all kinds of ish over there. But yes, thank you as always, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Patrons, we will see you guys later this week for Bar Movie Trivia. If you're not a part of it, join it. Come hang out with us. It's a lot of fun. Until then, though, we'll catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.